Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing kind of a fun, chill type of video where we talk about all of the uncomfortable, awkward, fail type of things that have happened to me since quitting my 9-to-5 job and working for myself, freelancing, building up my own business. So this is me really throwing it all out there and just being super transparent. And I figured this was a good time to do this video because I'm sick. I'm not really feeling that great and I just wanted to keep it casual. So that is the plan. I'm taking these off because they're glaring, but we're just gonna jump right into this. Please don't make fun of me. Also, actually, you can make fun of me if you want, because that's kind of the purpose of this video, right? So let's just get right into it. Number one is negotiating with friends and family for your rates if you're a freelancer. When I first started out freelancing, a lot of my initial network was friends and family. So I definitely had some awkward feeling experiences where I felt like I had to maybe take less than I actually wanted to be paid, or just felt like I couldn't speak up as much because the person that was paying me or was in charge of deciding my pay was a friend or family member, which is not always the most comfortable, but it's sadly the reality if you're starting from scratch and trying to build up any type of business at all, honestly. That's really the best place to start, and I'm going to be talking more in a future video about my kind of 5 rules for how to make money for yourself, so stay tuned for that. But instead today you can just listen to my stories and take lessons from them. So that is number one, is it's really awkward to say this is what I want to be paid and they're like, but what about this? Or I looked up the market rate and this is what it is. Or them awkwardly telling me that, oh, well, you really don't have enough experience to charge that. It's like, well, great, right? Like, how do I respond to that? So, and it's not that they mean bad or, they're trying to be hurtful or anything. It's almost that when it's your friends and family, they can be a bit more honest with you. And it can really skew what you should be charging, because either number one, you're going to get friends and family that expect a discount because they're friends and family. So they're going to try to charge less or pay you less because they're like, oh, we're friends and family though. Like, can't you give me a discount on this? Or B, they're going to overinflate what you're worth by being very positive and trying to uplift you and say,
oh, I want to pay you this much because, you're worth it.
And really, you're not worth it. So not that you're not worth it, that sounds bad, but my point is maybe you're not at the level to actually charge that. I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. I've been there where I've had friends say they want to pay me X amount of money for financial coaching, and really at that point I was not able to charge that much, but in the future I was, which Tina, if you're watching, I'm talking about you. I feel like I had you pay me way too much for that initially because you were my first financial coaching client, but I always love and appreciate your support, so thank you. But yeah, it can just be awkward and it can really skew your decision making on what to charge, real clients or clients that don't know you personally. So kind of balances out though. As long as you have this in your mind, you can take the clients that are friends and family that like lowball you because they want a discount because they're like, oh, friends and family discount. And then you can take the clients that are your friends and family that uplift too much and are like trying to pay you more. Level that out as an average. That's probably what you should be charging. And then you can make sure that you take everything they're saying with a grain of salt and just try to figure out your worth by doing some real research at the end of the day is my main suggestion. But number 2 is setting boundaries for your time and money. This one's just the inevitable. I don't really even have a story for this. Well, I probably have stories, but I definitely struggle with setting boundaries when it comes to time and money. And it's just a hard thing to do. Again, you bring in the friends and family or even just new clients, you're not having a lot of experience, and it's really easy to want to go above and beyond when you're just starting out, which I'm not saying you shouldn't, but it's really important that you consider like what are your actual boundaries for yourself, and also what boundaries do you want in your business to make sure that people aren't going to start expecting way more from you than what you can realistically give or what you should realistically be giving, because that's not good for business either. You need to like leave a little bit of room for them wanting more, you know what I mean? So, and the other hard part about this is working late hours. I'm definitely someone who, especially if again, it's friends or family, I would want to do something for someone way late into the night just to help them out because I care about them, because friends or family. Maybe the learning lesson here is that we shouldn't work with friends and family, but it's not, because seriously, that was like integral, whatever. I'm too sick to care about how you say that, but it was one of the most important components of me actually making money for myself, was working with friends and family initially to get some experience and to learn these different skills and things like that, and to build my network especially. So yeah, it's kind of hard to learn that balance. But the next one is even more awkward, which is reminding people to pay you. And I hate this one more than anything in the whole world, because a lot of times people don't even mean it in a bad way. They're just not the greatest at remembering to pay you. So this is super awkward. Again, when you add in the mix friends and family, asking people to pay you, and not asking them to pay you, but reminding them like, hey, you need to pay me, you were supposed to already have paid me, is super awkward. I don't really have much learning lessons here. I've definitely had people who don't pay me. I text them reminders or emails to pay me, and they just don't answer because they're thinking like, oh yeah, I'll pay you later today, and then they forget again. And then it's just me consistently bugging someone like, hey, did you forget? You need to pay me, or it's been this long, or blah, 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 blah. What I found to be the most useful tip for this one though, so it can be a little bit less awkward, is if you give someone a timeline, here's your invoice, you have 10 days to pay, or like my payment timeline's 10 days or whatever, you need to be like straight up about how long they have to pay. And then if they do go over that and they don't pay you on time, then what I found to be the best solution is, instead of saying,
hey, reminder to pay me,
or
reminder that it's been this many days,
or
hey, can you pay me? I really need the money.
And it feeling awkward, what I like to do is ask someone, when can I expect to see the payment from you for X invoice? Because then it puts the power back into their hands, and you're asking them a direct question. You're not just saying, hey, reminder to pay me. You're saying, when can I expect you to pay me? Because number one, that allows them also to state maybe why they haven't paid you, or also just state like, this is when you can expect it, so that then you have grounds. Oh, by the way, you said you were going to pay me by this date and you haven't paid me. Is everything okay? Did you have any issues? Always try to end with a question is basically the most important component of this. It keeps things less awkward, and yeah, it's just a much better way to handle things and make people also not feel bad for forgetting to pay you or things like that. Because you also don't want to have like a negative relationship with people because maybe they aren't the best at remembering, and then you weren't the best at asking or reminding or bringing it up because you feel awkward about talking about money, things like that. But overall, the goal in the future would be that all of your clients are timely clients that pay on time. That's your most important situation. But the reality is that you're always going to have clients that struggle to pay on time, or struggle to pay in general. Or maybe they're not great at budgeting their own money for their business. Like, you have no idea what the reasoning could be. This can happen with sponsors too, if you're doing social media, things like that. But yeah, you're going to deal with people who don't pay. That's just the reality. So figuring out that is definitely a difficult one, but important. The next three are just extra awkward ones. So the first three were more just like, oh, these are uncomfortable struggles. These three are just genuinely awkward and uncomfortable to talk about. So that's just what it is, but we're just gonna laugh through it. So number 4 is telling people about a win in your business only for it to fall through. This one is just awkward and makes you feel like a crappy person, or just like a failure, that you suck at what you're doing. But definitely had times where something happened and I was really excited about it and thought things were going to be great and it was looking positive. So I would share this win with friends and family, only for it to not happen for whatever reason. Either oh, my YouTube channel is starting to pick up, things are going great, it's growing so fast, and then like it completely drops off and no one's watching my videos anymore except you guys. Hey, but it just doesn't continue to grow at the same level it was. And then people are like, oh, what are you at now? 10,000 subscribers? And you're like, no, I'm still at 3,500. Yep, still there. I know, it's awkward. Or I get told that I'm being interviewed for an article in some newspaper for quiet quitting, and it sounds super cool. And then the article comes out and it sucks and they made me look dumb, or just put the whole thing in a bad light, or the article doesn't even ever come out, or it comes out and they decided to not include my interview. All of those things, very awkward, especially when you share with friends and family and they're like, where's that article? And you're like, yeah, I'd rather not share it. Kind of sucks. I want to do a whole video talking about the fall of journalism as a whole, as someone who is literally not in the journalism world, but has experienced being interviewed for trending topics relating to social media trends, because I think it's really interesting, and my experience with it And yeah, just stay tuned because I don't know. I have some weird feelings about journalism after that whole experience, so I definitely want to talk about it at some point. And then lastly, there's times where a client maybe seemed like they were going to move forward with me. I was pretty positive they were. Maybe I negotiated a really great rate and I share this with friends and family and they're like, wow, this is amazing. And then this brings me right into number 5. The client completely ghosts me. It happens. I've had people reach out to me through YouTube before and then just ghost me and stop answering. Or I'll even do a call with them for free and then email them and they just never respond. Or I've had clients tell me, yes, we're going to move forward with this project. Yes, we agree on your rate. Everything looks great. I put time into the intro call. I put time into a proposal, put time into the initial invoice, all this, and then they just ghost me. And sometimes it's not as bad as a full ghost. Sometimes they just stop answering promptly, or then they say, oh yeah, we're waiting, we're on hold, and then they really just like never get back to me. Other times they just fully ghost and it's off. So it happens. And the learning lesson with both of these is just wait until things are 1,000% sure before you share them with people, because not that you can't share them with anyone, but like share them with people who, you know, it's not a big deal if it doesn't go through. Like I'll tell Oliver, my husband, and like if it doesn't go through, it's not a big deal because, you know, he knows, he's been watching this whole thing go down for the past year. He knows how it goes and that sometimes things just don't actually happen. That would be my biggest suggestion, is just wait until it's 1,000% sure, or say that this thing might be happening even if it seems certain, because I've had plenty of times things not actually happen. As well as don't ever say no to another client because of a potential client in the work. You need to tell them that we can talk about it, talk about timeline, but that you're still figuring things out. Because I have had times where I tell clients, oh, I am available for this project for you, but I can't do this other part because I have another client starting, and then the other client doesn't start. And then now you're down bad because you don't have enough work to pay your bills. So that was definitely something I struggled with at the beginning, was the balance of that. I definitely chose the wrong route to fix it, which was I'll just say yes to everyone and figure it out later. And that has bit me in the butt. So don't suggest that either, but it is a solution to making sure you always have money and enough work to do, but you will find times that you are extremely burnt out and stressed, or you just have to really prioritize trying to offload things or finding people to support you. And yeah, you can do that too, but it is awkward. And the last one, which is one I have never talked about on the channel before and is very, very awkward. And looking back, I just really don't know what I was thinking. And that is literally creating a program and launching it only for no one to buy it. Thankfully, I didn't actually create the entire program, as in like build out the whole program, but I did spend a lot of time researching, outlining a program, and putting in what I thought was the right content for the program, only to find that although this is what people needed, most people don't know it's what they need, and telling them that's what they need, like they're gonna read it and be like,
no, that's not what I need help with.
Like, what are you talking about? So anyways, long story short, back a year and a half ago, right after I'd quit my job, I posted my video about quitting my job, and it went really well, and I got an influx of subscribers and became monetized on YouTube. We all know the story. And I ended up deciding that it would be a good idea to put together an outline for a group program, because I wanted to coach, and I still do want to coach, and you all know this, but I've been much slower since then to actually survey you all, figure out what you need help with, and do some one-on-one coaching and figure out all of that before I'm jumping into anything else. And I'm just taking my time with it, because you really need to take your time with these things, okay? Can't just decide to make a program and decide to push and sell it to your audience. Well, I should say, you can decide to do that, and it does work for some people, but sometimes it doesn't work, so be prepared to do all of this, send out emails for it, create a wait list, and actually have people sign up for the wait list and get super excited, and then launch the course for literally really cheap. I think it was like $200 or something. It was a very cheap course that I launched, and have literally no one buy it, or have people see that and then unsubscribe from your email list, or lose subscribers over it, or just make things really awkward and uncomfortable. And the reality is I'm not great at sales, and I'm not great at explaining what things are and being confident in that. And yeah, there's a lot of things that I did with this that were just not good, and I regret, and I look back and I'm like, what was I thinking? That was so dumb. But at the same time, it was a good learning lesson, and it was also a great slap in the face that I don't just do everything right, because I think I was very overly confident at that time, or maybe trying to convince myself I was overly confident, trying to convince myself that I could do all of these things. I have this really bad trait, and I'm being, again, very transparent here. I struggle with the trait where I see someone else doing something and I go, come on, like I could do that better. Like, why can't I do that? And then I just decide sometimes like, oh, I'm just going to go do it. If you guys have been around for a while, you remember my decision to randomly stream on Twitch for no reason whatsoever, because I thought, I could go stream on Twitch. Why not? No, I can't. I'm a terrible live streamer. No one let me live stream ever again. Okay. Like, just don't let me do it. Well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe I'll live stream eventually, but about something that actually makes sense and is something I actually want to talk about on this channel or something like that. But yeah, I tend to go on these rabbit holes where I get really excited about things and I put way too much energy into it, and then it falls through, doesn't work out. And I've since discovered that I really need to think things through and decide what is actually the right decision, and not just randomly go with things because it feels like a fun thing to go with. That's not how you do business. So if you're trying to make any type of business or brand or anything, just be careful about your decision making and just really think things through. And don't just listen to other people, though, because other people will tell you that, none of that makes any sense and it's all going to fail, which is not true either. But also, you got to just like balance out the impulsivity and smart decision making and like making informed decisions. Like, there's kind of a balance you got to figure out there. But anyways, those are my 6 awkward things that I have dealt with. I definitely have some new ones, but I've been trying to write these down and keep them until it's been a good length of time away from the thing where I can laugh about it, and also like not like make anyone mad by sharing these stories. Obviously, I'm not using names, but you want to be aware of how you handle these things, and you don't want to make anyone else feel bad if they watch your video or anything. These are just things that I've learned that I need to do better and that I'm working on, and that were really awkward. And I hope you got a good laugh, or also just feel seen if maybe you've done some of these yourself. But I'm curious if you have done any of these. Let me know in the comments down below which one you've done, or if there's another awkward, uncomfortable thing that you've done by working for yourself or freelancing or having a social media presence or any of that. That is all I have for this video. I hope it was a fun, chill one. Sorry that I've been really sick, and I'm trying to get onto a good schedule. 2023 is going to be the year. It's going to be the year. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to make a video about how my 2022 goals ended up like panning out, as well as my vision board from 2022 and like what actually came to fruition and what didn't, and how things have changed. So make sure you stay tuned for that. It's going to be early in 2023, as well as talking about my goals and vision for 2023. So I'm super excited to talk with you guys about that. But that is all I have for today's video. I have to go pick up my friend from the airport and do some work. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.